Remember the September 7th Commander-in-Chief Forum where Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton appeared separately but back to back for 30 minutes each? Well, according to an email which originated from a Comcast email address, the technical crew from NBC, which produced the event, is now speaking out about what took place moments after Clinton walked off the set. A massive, profanity-laced tirade aimed at NBC's host, Matt Lauer. It turned out that Clinton had been fed all the questions for approval in advance of the forum. But when after the approval, Matt Lauer had a change of heart and he started his questions with an unapproved line concerning Clinton's use of an illegal private server for the sometimes classified work-related emails. According to a Comcast official, the parent company of NBC Universal, who apparently was quoting those on the set, when Matt posed the one legitimate question about the FBI investigation concerning their homemade server and the unsecured emails, we could see she was beginning to boil.
And in particular concerning your use of your personal email and server to communicate while you were Secretary of State. The word judgment has been used a lot around you, Secretary Clinton, over the last year and a half, and in particular concerning your use of your personal email and server to communicate while you were Secretary of State. You said it's a mistake. You said you made not the best choice. You were communicating on highly sensitive topics. Why wasn't it more than a mistake? Why wasn't it disqualifying if you want to be Commander-in-Chief?
According to an NBC associate producer of the forum, as soon as Clinton got off the set, she exploded. Hillary proceeded to pick up a full glass of water and throw it in the face of her assistant, and the screaming started. She was in full meltdown, and no one on her staff dared speak with her. She went kind of manic and didn't have any control over herself at that point. How these people work with this woman is amazing to me. She really didn't seem to care who heard any of it. You really had to see this to believe it. She came apart, literally unplugged. She is the most foul-mouthed woman I've ever heard. And that voice at screech level, awful. She screamed, she'd get that fucking Laura fired for this. Referring to Donald Trump, Clinton said, if that bastard wins, we all hang from nooses.
Matt Lawrence is finished.
If I lose, it's all on your heads for screwing this up. So, Crooked Hillary fears the gallows, eh? Interesting. Her dozens or more aides were visibly disturbed and tried to calm her down when she started shaking uncontrollably as she screamed to get an executive at Comcast, the parent company of NBC Universal, on the phone. Then, two rather large aides grabbed her and helped her walk to the car. Matt Lauer was massively criticized for the rest of the week on the air by the Clinton campaign and the rest of the mass news media as having conducted an unfair and partisan attack on Clinton. According to the emails, calls were made to the New York Times, the Washington Post, Huffington Post, and Twitter executives with orders to crush Matt Lauer. One staffer on the Clinton campaign told the NBC staff that they all feared Clinton's wrath and uncontrollable outburst, and one described Hillary as an egocentric psychopath. Since Hillary does not allow any staff to have cell phones when she is in their presence, no footage is available. In turn, DNC Chairman Donna Brazile, the first black woman to hold a position, was singled out by Hillary during the rant. She screamed at Donna, I'm so sick of your face. You stare at the wall like a brain-dead buffalo while letting that fucking get away with this. What are you good for? Really? Get the fucking work, janitor this mess.
Do I make myself clear?
A female NBC executive said that Donna Brazile looked at Mrs. Clinton and never flinched, which seemed to enrage Hillary all the more. The executive continued, it was the most awful and terrible and racist display, such a profound meltdown I have ever witnessed from anyone, and I will never forget it. This woman should never see the inside of the Oval Office. I can tell you that. She was unhinged and just continued to verbally abuse everyone. She was out of control. So, why did Matt Lauer ask his rogue question? According to sources close to Lauer, because the American people deserve an answer from the former Secretary of State.
The word judgment has been used a lot around you, Secretary Clinton, over the last year and a half, and in particular concerning your use of your personal email and server to communicate while you were Secretary of State. You've said it's a mistake. You said you made not the best choice. You were communicating on highly sensitive topics. Why wasn't it more than a mistake? Why wasn't it disqualifying if you want to be Commander-in-Chief?
Well, Matt, first of all, as I have said repeatedly, it was a mistake to have a personal account. I would certainly not do it again. I make no excuses for it. It was something that should not have been done. But the real question is the handling of classified material, which is, I think, what the implication of your question was. And for all the viewers watching you tonight, I have a lot of experience dealing with classified material, starting when I was on the Senate Armed Services Committee, going into the 4 years as Secretary of State. Classified material has a header which says top secret, secret, confidential, nothing. And I will repeat this, and this is verified in the report by the Department of Justice. None of the emails sent or received by me had such a header.
Were some of the emails sent or received by you referring to our drone program, our covert drone program?
Yes, because, of course, there were no discussions of any of the covert actions in process being determined about whether or not to go forward. But every part of our government had to deal with questions, and the Secretary of State's office was first and foremost. So there are ways of talking about the drone program.
And you said you thought your communications on that were fairly routine.
Well, let me say, the FBI just released their report about their investigation. They discussed drone matters in the unclassified section of their report.
But Director Comey also said this after reviewing all the information. He said there is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
Well, Matt, I just respectfully point to the hundreds of experienced foreign policy experts, diplomats, defense officials who were communicating information on the unclassified system because it was necessary to answer questions and to be able publicly to go as far as we could, which was not acknowledging the program. But I would be in Pakistan, as I was on several occasions. There might very well have been a strike. I would be asked in a public setting, in an interview about it. It was known to have happened. We had to have an answer that did not move into classified area, and I think we handled that appropriately.
You mentioned you're in Pakistan. Some of the emails you sent and received happened while you were overseas, and Director Comey also said that while they have no proof, we assess that it is possible that hostile actors gained access to Secretary Clinton's personal email accounts.
Matt, there is no evidence. Of course, anything is possible, but what is factual is the State Department system was hacked. Most of the government systems are way behind the curve. We've had hacking repeatedly, even in the White House. There is no evidence the system was hacked.